Winning
Pick
Weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another NFL episode on Winning Picks Weekly. It is week 9, Greg. We are almost at double digits. I can smell it, and usually I'd be upset about that. However, this point of the year, the board is starting to finally be clear. The Jets are actually in the playoff picture, but that's for a different podcast, for the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast coming up. I finally had a positive week, week 8. We both
very positive week. 10 wins,
and you were 500. We killed it on the 2-1 best bets. I'm ready to roll in to this Thursday's game because last week we didn't have any bye weeks. I was nervous about that. We're back on the bye weeks this week. And Greg, the Thursday game is actually a good game.
Yeah,
even though it might be Will Levis at Pittsburgh. Line minus 2.5 right now. And it looks like Cam Hayward coming back for Pittsburgh, but Minkah Fitzpatrick is out. Home Thursdays have not been good on the spread. What are your takes on this first game?
I just can't believe you disrespected Will Levis like that. 4 touchdowns in a debut game is pretty impressive. And they were bombs. Like, he was throwing it up there. And Hopkins was just open. Like, I'm taking Tennessee all the way here. I love that we're getting 2.5 points. I know it's at Pittsburgh on a short week, but for me, that's just less time to watch tape, less time to plan for this Will Levis. I mean, you know, he was good in college. He went in the 3rd round in the draft for a reason, but, you know, he showed it. I mean, they're talking about a 2-quarterback system with Malik Willis. Like, you don't need to. You have Will Levis. He's good. He can throw the ball downfield. You know, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing with Zach Wilson, the early part of Zach Wilson's career has been like those short intermediary, like trying to throw to tight coverage. Hey, you don't have to worry about throwing to tight coverage. You just throw the ball 60 yards down the field to a wide open Hopkins. So, you know, Hopkins is healthy. To your point, Minkah Fitzpatrick's out. So it's one less DB you have to worry about. Give me a Tennessee plus 2.5 on the road to start the week.
I mean, I'm with you here. I kind of teased it. I'm scared of the home teams on Thursday. It's becoming a trick to take them. I don't like Pittsburgh. I think 4-3 for them is crazy talk. They should be more towards the 4-4. I have not been impressed with them at all this year. Tennessee did look good last week. Just when you count Vrabel out, I mean, he comes right back. Derrick Henry back. Somehow they sold their best defensive player. And they're still trying to win games here. So
yeah,
I'm gonna ride with Tennessee here. I don't feel great about Pittsburgh. So even if Pittsburgh wins this game and I lose this bet, I'm not gonna really flip-flop here. This is more of a just fade Pittsburgh here.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett last week left the game with an injury. So, you know, he's obviously banged up, even if he's going to be playing this game or starting this game. You just don't know exactly what you're going to get from him. So
DJ's never going to get a touchdown. It is what it is. We'll see
what
what happens. All right. 9:30 a.m. first Germany game. Maybe the AFC. Well, honestly, this week we have 2 of the top AFC matchups that there is.
Yeah,
first
it's
one
great.
starts at 9:30. Miami versus Kansas City. It sucks that this was supposed to be in Kansas City. You know, as a Jets fan, hoping that Miami would lose this game in Arrowhead. But this game's in Germany. Kansas City still favorites, minus 2.5 here. I'm rolling with KC. Listen, Miami's been on a tear. Their defense still hasn't been good. It's crazy that Armstead first game might be back, left tackle. But I wonder how he's going to look first game back. You know what I mean? I think you're catching Kansas City at a bad time. Coming off their first loss in 16 tries to the Denver Broncos. Yep. They're going to be pissed off. They don't lose division games right? I think this is gonna be a big week for Kansas City. They're I wonder what the crowd's gonna be like. Are they on the modern day Dolphins, or are they with like I guess what feels like NFL's team in the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, Mahomes, Kelsey, that whole deal. I wonder how the fans are gonna look at Germany. But regardless, I like Kansas City here. Mahomes, just win. They're gonna just win this game. The spread does not matter on this game. This is a money line game, but I like KC here, and this has nothing to do with the Dolphins. The Dolphins' schedule is incredibly easy the rest of the year, so I don't think this is gonna really do much for them. But this game might determine home field advantage, and I know the Chiefs know that. So I think this is the biggest regular season Chiefs game I could think of in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on some of it. 96% of the money on KC gives me a little pause. The only thing I'm betting on this game that I'm really going with, I mean, Miami's been called a fraud now for 2 weeks straight. Anytime they play someone good, they get embarrassed. Anytime they play someone with a losing record, they win by 30. So I think that narrative's out there. I think Miami's heard it. Dude, my thing for this game is that Miami traveled on Tuesday. Kansas City hasn't traveled until Thursday. Team that gets out there earlier gets the rest advantage, gets used to the time zones, spend some time there, gets acclimated. I'm pretty sure in the London games the last few years, like whoever just gets out there first seems to do better. So I'm going with Miami. They're out there first. They're getting a 1.5, 2 points. To your point, doesn't really matter. It's pretty much a money line bet. Both teams are going to be good. I just like that Miami's traveling 2 days before KC. I feel like makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's fair. We've been seeing that, especially the last London game. That was pretty apparent.
Yep.
All right, moving on here. 1 o'clock. Minnesota with a banged up quarterback situation. Are they starting the kid from BYU, Mr. Hill?
I
Darren
believe
Hill?
so.
That's going to be tough. Versus the Atlanta Falcons, which, I mean, Greg, the Atlanta Falcons have finally come home. They have benched Desmond Ridder. I would like to hear I'm right from you. Tell me I'm crazy every week. He's going to be fine. Ridder's going to be fine. He's gotten benched when the team doing okay. He stinks, Greg. If the Atlanta Falcons had a decent quarterback, they would be running away with this division. And honestly, I think Taylor Heineke is that guy. I think the Falcons are going to finally turn it around, and they're going to start making a run at this division. I love the Falcons at home here. They're going to rally around Heineke. Heineke is good, man. I wonder what the public thinks about this game, but I absolutely love the Falcons here, especially against Hill. Oh, my goodness. Dude, give me the Falcons. -4. I might tease this up to -9.5.
Yeah, right now 60% of the money's on Minnesota, 4.5 on the road. I think that's crazy too. I'm with you. I mean, I like Taylor Heineke in the offseason. I said the Jets should go after him. And yeah, I mean, Desmond Ridder has not been playing good the last few weeks. I won't give you that he's been bad all season because he was undefeated at home all season. And then he lost one bad one 2 weeks ago. Didn't play well last week. It's time to make a change. And Taylor Heineke is a great backup to have. We saw it in Washington. He won games. He got him to a playoff berth. So, to your point, I think he can do the same thing in Atlanta. Like, start the run now. The schedule is not that impressive for the remainder of the season. You're right in the mix for the division. So, start here with a win at home, -4.5 against Minnesota. I think it's very doable. Especially going to your point against a rookie here with Jaron Hall out of BYU. It's like, this is a weird week in the NFL. There's so many teams that are facing not even just backup quarterbacks, but like first-time quarterbacks that I did all my picks earlier, John, without looking at it. And I did it on the spreadsheet here before doing it in our pool. And then when I inputted it into the pool, I just ended up picking up all the favorites because all the favorites, I was like, well, I'm just going to bet against this rookie quarterback in the middle of the season. I'm going to bet against this rookie quarterback in the middle of the season. And it's led to me getting all the favorites. So I had to switch it up. I have some underdogs mixed in here, but that's my big theme this week is like, it's kind of like week one, bet against rookie coaches. It's like middle of the season. Like, this Hall guy is throwing 3 passes in the NFL. Like, you're going up against Atlanta defense, who's been pretty good this season. So, yeah, 4.5 points. I feel like it's just way too small of a number. So give me Atlanta -4.5.
I mean, this might be one of the easiest bets of the day.
Yeah, it's actually my first best bet of the day. Now that we're talking about it.
All right. Let's go. Let's move on. I mean, I'm throwing this in my parlays here. This should be an easy one for me. All right. Next game. Tough game. Maybe game of the 1:00 showdowns. Definitely game of the 1:00 shows, but maybe another huge game in the AFC. Jeez, AFC is crazy. I guess big game for the NFC because Seattle at +5.5 going into Baltimore. Seattle might win their division now. Everyone's saying, everyone's screaming that San Francisco is going to run away with it. Seattle seems to be making a run here. On the other hand, Baltimore, we knew that the AFC North was going to be crazy. They're in the, a dogfight for the top, but also just to hang on to a wild card spot. One loss could really drop them down. This is a big game, man. Seattle looked great last week. We all know the Ravens looked great last week. 5.5 seems like a hell of a lot of points. I honestly think Seattle could win this game straight up, Greg. 5.5 for John Harbaugh sounds crazy. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I like Seattle. The only thing that scares me is like what Lamar's now 17-0 or 17-1 against NFC opponents in his career. Like these teams just don't see him a lot, and then when they see him, they're like, "Oh shit, this guy's good," and they just can't hang.
It's too late.
And Seattle, like, to your point, is climbing up this division is partially because San Francisco's losing, but also because they've been playing pretty good without DK Metcalf.
Seattle's got to still win though.
Yeah, and their best receiver's been out. Tyler Lockett hasn't been doing too much. So, Kenneth Walker's been playing well. Bobo stepped up. Geno Smith, despite what some people say, is playing well. 71% of the money's on Seattle. I'm taking Seattle here, +5.5 on the road. I think it's a close game. I think it's an ugly game. I think when you get back, in the later part of the season, you look back on the schedule and be like, this was like a monster week that shaped the playoff race for a lot of these teams. And, speaking about Miami and KC, Seattle and Baltimore, there's a couple other that are coming up that are just incredible games. So, yeah, give me Seattle on this one, plus the points.
Yeah, I think we're aligned here. And especially as I look at the schedule here, I am taking a lot of favorites here because of the quarterback situation. So this seems like a nice spot to take some dogs.
Yeah, and that's what's like making me nervous that like I had to find spots to pick dogs. And I feel like Vegas is playing with me a little bit because like you had a good week last week. I scraped and clawed to 8-8. And now it's like we're both getting suckered into this. Like you have to bet against the rookie quarterbacks. Like maybe you don't, but
no, you do.
I just don't see how you can't.
You do. We'll talk about it. Next game here. We got he is a rookie, but it's his third game. We got Mr. Tyson Bagent against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. All right. Saints looked good last week.
Yeah.
Bears looked bad last week. Thank God. I had bet against the Bears in my Survivor. Tough week for Survivor, Greg. The question is, with this 7.5, 8.5 spread now?
Yep.
What do we think about the New Orleans Saints? Can they cover the 8.5 against Bagent? Is Sweat gonna play? Chase Young gonna play this week?
Sweat
gonna play this week? Sorry, I forgot which one they got.
Yep. I'm sure he's gonna play some. I don't know much, but you said it. And as a gambler, you pick up on things over time, and the little things people say make you say, that's what I should be doing in this game. You just did it, John. You said the New Orleans Saints were good last week. The Chicago Bears were bad last week. So as a gambler, what do? You bet on Chicago. So give me Chicago as a +7.5, +8.5, +8, whatever we want to do. I don't care. Give me Chicago on the points. It's over a touchdown. That's all that matters to me. And I'm actually heading to the Windy City this weekend, so it's actually a good weekend to bet on Chicago. Give me Chicago. 67% of the money's on Chicago with only 27% of the bets. So there's some big bettor out there that believes in Chicago because he probably thought the same thing. Like New Orleans surprised me. New Orleans, when I was picking these games earlier today, I was like, they've figured out the offense. Like they can score 30 points a game. No, not so fast. That's not how the NFL works. How the NFL works is these teams come back to the middle and they meet and the team that's getting 7.5 points has a huge advantage. Give me Chicago on this one.
All right, but the question is, Greg, are they going to win?
Chicago?
No, the Saints. So I take them in my survivor.
Oh.
I mean, I guess same question. Bears going to win.
I would keep the Saints in your pocket because I think they have a easy schedule going forward. The next game is who I would take in Survivor. The two I'm taking in Survivor.
The Saints have the Vikings next week.
No. And on our Excel sheet, the Arizona and Cleveland. That's what I would take in Survivor because they're in a tough division, so they're not going to have as many spots later in the season where you're going to be able to easily pick them. Where I think you can right now.
All right, I'm still thinking about the Saints here, man.
Yeah.
I got Tyson Bagent is a big one for me. It's big in my mind.
But in this game, though, are you going Saints spread or are you going Chicago? Saints defense looked good. I mean, Indy last week, Indy's been able to score, 20 points every game this season. I think they're the only team in the NFL that's been able to do that. But other than that, the Saints defense looked pretty good at home. Tyler Badgett last week looked bad, but also the receivers looked bad. Like his supporting cast around him looked bad. So
I'm going to take the cheese. I'm going to take the cheese here. I don't think Tyson Bagent's going to be able to get a snap off in New Orleans. That's how I'm going to go. I'm going to take the cheese with all this stuff because I'm just going to stick with my guns, man. I stuck with my guns finally last week. I'm just going to stick with my guns this week.
Yeah.
If the quarterback stinks, if I think the team is just way better, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
The only time I flopped on that is Seattle so far. Jumping into next game. You talked about it. Arizona. I don't know who's their quarterback catching 7.5 in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson did practice today. PJ Walker did look okay. Cleveland does have a menacing defense. I'm taking this as my first best bet of the day. I mean, I don't think Arizona's going to score. I don't understand how. You have Myles Garrett coming at you. This is not going to be the frisky Arizona Cardinals team because they just got rid of their quarterback. Like if Kyler Murray comes back the week after, okay, now we could start talking dignity, whatever, pride, contracts. But this week is going to be bad news Bears.
Yeah.
I'm going Cleveland all day. I don't care what the spread is. I'll take this almost to 2 touchdowns, man. Especially if Deshaun Watson comes back, he has to put on good tape. Kareem Hunt they have 3 running backs trying to get the ball. Like, I think Cleveland's going to crush them. In Cleveland. That's the other thing, Greg, here. Every one of these quarterbacks are on the road. Like, they can't hear. I can't stress that enough. Like, not only is this your first time, you also can't hear anything. So I'm going Cleveland. They can't lose this game. They can't lose the game. So what are we talking about? Like, I'm just worried about the spread. I'm not worried about the spread. Give me Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is why this is my survivor pick. This is my hold your nose pick because it's the highest spread of the day. Give me Cleveland here. 90% of the public money, but only 50%, or 90% of the public bets, but only 50% of the public money makes me know that there's a big bet somewhere on Arizona. Not really sure to your point. I mean, you got Clayton Tune, I think, is the quarterback for Arizona because I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be ready out of Houston. Like to your point, first game, I think he's thrown four passes all season. The only thing that is good is that like when some of these rookie quarterbacks, like we saw it with the Giants, and we'll get to that. I don't know if Tommy DeVito's playing or if
no, dude,
DJ's back. Like Tommy DeVito didn't throw a pass until he absolutely had to. Like these guys have at least thrown a couple balls and have gotten some yards. Like their team's a little confident in them.
To be honest with you, I don't think Jaron Hall's going to throw a pass. I don't know if Tune is going to throw a pass. I honestly don't. That's the thing with these guys.
In this game, it's tough with Myles Garrett. Like I don't know how you're going to even have time to throw a pass.
We're talking bottom of the barrel, man, versus the top defenses in the league. Like there's no metric that you could look at where Cleveland's not a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Like there's no metric that you could look at that New Orleans isn't a top half of the league defense. I think they're better than that, but at least top half. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what Badgent's going to do. I don't know what Toon is going to do. I don't know what Jaron Hill is going to do against Atlanta. Another good defense that's been keeping them in the game despite their horrible quarterback play. You know what I mean? I mean, these quarterbacks are in the worst situation all on the road. It's a really tough week for them. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong on this side of things. You know what I mean? Rather than, run to the bank and try to cash my ticket for Tyson Badger and Jaron Hill and Clayton Tune on the road versus top quality defenses. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'd rather be wrong. Next game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Finally, some decent quarterbacks. And look what we're talking about here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are plus 2.5 with Baker Mayfield, and the Houston Texans with rookie CJ Stroud. I didn't really, to be honest with you, I didn't get to rewatch the Panthers Texans game, which now that I'm saying it out loud, might be one of the late night things I do tonight. Just throw that game on instead of like a late night show. I really want to watch Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud. I heard that game got sloppy at the end. The score is ugly. I kind of want to see how that game went. This is interesting. It sounds like Dame Pierce and they can't really get a running game going.
Yeah, they haven't been in Houston. They haven't been able to.
And that's interesting because it's off a bye too. So I was expecting them to be healthier and better. Their wide receiver core is a little banged up. Robert Woods still out too. This is a tough one, man. I want to take the under, but I think I would. I'm gonna stay away from this game personally. But I think if I had to, like for the purposes of the show, I would go Tampa. Give me the points. Give me Tampa. Give me the defense, and let's see what's up. But I think this is gonna be a good game. I think this spread's good, like 3 points either side, no problem.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Tampa Bay and the points. I think it's gonna be close. There's talk about Mike Evans being moved to the trade deadline. They ended up staying around, so that signals to me they think they can make a playoff push here in Tampa Bay. It's going to be predicated on the defense, with a couple big shots here and there. So, give me Tampa Bay here in the points.
Wow, so you're not really taking this in real life either, right? I don't see you have a big handicap here.
I'm thinking about it. I just don't. I mean, the other side of the handicap is like I think Tampa Bay is pretty good. I don't think Houston's very good. I think they've got some surprising early wins early in the season. Tampa Bay is in my Hail Mary. Probably going to be in my teaser.
Teaser sounds good for them, but that's why they make it 2.5. Those scumbags in Vegas.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Tampa Bay is a legit playoff team. I don't think Houston's going to end up being too much by the end of the season because, to your point, how can you not figure out a run game with Dameon Pierce? You're just putting all the weight on CJ Stroud's shoulders. Like eventually, that's going to fall apart for a rookie. Like it's been good for the first couple weeks, but when you start playing these teams like Tampa Bay that have a more serious defense, when you start playing these divisional opponents that you see 2 or 3, 2 times. That stuff's gonna catch up to you. I think you have to play some complementary football. You have to play some football independent on offense of CJ Stroud, because he's been lights out. And like I said, I just don't think it's gonna keep up all season. So yeah, I think Tampa Bay and this defense is gonna be pretty good. Plus, you're getting points. Like I said, I had to go hunting to find teams, underdogs that I liked. Tampa Bay is one of them this week that I actually just ended up liking without needing.
I think I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I'm sick with them just for that aspect. Next game. Tough one, Greg. I was getting rained on, man. I don't know what really happened with New England. The score was all over the place. Looked like a blowout, but then if you go back and you watch it, it looked like it was close at times. Same thing with Washington. I mean, technically I was at a Giants home game last week, and they don't show red zone during Giants home games. They just show scoreboard, which is kind of whack, but depending, glass half full, glass half empty. You could also say it's kind of whack that Jets fans want to watch red zone. I do really bad when I'm at the game, especially for this reason. I don't know what really happened here. Washington plus 2.5 at New England. Feels like New England last straw. Like this is it. Like back against the wall. 2-6 New England. I don't care who you're playing. Never mind the team who just gave up 2 of their pass rushers. I mean, how many pass rushers do you have that you can just give up 2 and you're still going to be able to do well against a Bill Belichick team? Man, this might be one of the unfortunately, this might be one of the easiest games of the week. I'm going New England, dude. New England's gonna smack the Washington Commanders in New England. They're not gonna be embarrassed. They're 2-6. They're gonna be 2-7 at the hands of the Commanders. They just are tanking. They got rid of 2 defensive ends. No way. Bill Belichick's gonna win 3 games, man. 3-6, and he's gonna be peaking right at that wild card spot. That third spot's not closed, man. Give me three wins for Billy B, and the comeback begins for the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I was flip-flocking back and forth because I was like, oh, Washington trade away his players, but, New England's defense hasn't really been particularly good. Washington, their offense has been good. Sam Howell looked pretty good last week against this Philly defense. So, Washington is going to go to New England and score 20 or 30 points. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I know Sam Howell's not a rookie, but he's a young quarterback in this league. They don't see New England that often. That's not how young quarterbacks, except for Tua, take care of New England and Billy B. So I'm with you. Give me New England -3. Gets New England back on track after a good win last week against Buffalo. Now you parlay that into beating up on an easy team in Washington. And yeah, I really do hold weight to your point about these teams either buying or selling at the deadline. Like Washington is selling. They're punting for next season. I think that really hurts a locker room. So give me New England, my second actually best bet of the day. I like them so much. I think New England's going to kill them.
I like that. I can't physically make them a best bet of mine, but yeah, I like that. All right, next game. Los Angeles Rams +3.5 in Lambeau.
So many 1:00 games. Like, what are we doing?
Last one of the day, Greg. And this is an interesting one. Green Bay 2-5. Their season looking lost from the outside perspective, especially because they just lost to Minnesota. However, you look at the NFC wildcard, man, there's an open spot. There is an open spot. Green Bay could grab it. The Giants can grab it. And if you want to go, they're plus 1,800 right now, the Giants, to make the playoffs. And it's because they're playing every single team that can potentially get in their way in the NFC wild card. The only issues they have is they play the Eagles twice. They lose both those. If they beat the Eagles once, they can go over 500 if they beat the rest of the teams. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, the point is Green Bay's alive. I like Green Bay in this game. The Rams, who's their quarterback? Is it Walford?
It's either if Stafford's not playing, I think it's Rippin.
Dude. I'm just staying away from all those guys. I'm taking Jordan Love and Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field coming off a loss. You just saw Kirk Cousins' Achilles get torn. I'm taking them versus a UCL thumbless Matt Stafford or Ripon. Give me Green Bay. At home, dude. All these teams are at home too. This is almost too easy. That's what the only thing that makes me nervous. But honestly, I'm not overthinking it this week. I'm just going with what I think.
Yeah, it makes me nervous too. That's why I'm going with LA here. I might be overthinking this week, but getting back on the disgusting picks, like the Rams are a disgusting pick here, especially if it's with Brett Rippon. But Green Bay just hasn't showed me anything. Like some of these other teams that we're talking about that are like favorites, like Cleveland, like New England, like who's one of the other ones that we were looking at earlier? New Orleans, like Baltimore, like they've shown you something. They have something they can hang their hat on. Top 5 defense, Bill Belichick, number 1 seed in the number 2 seed in the AFC with Baltimore, wherever they are. Like, what can Green Bay hang their hat on? They stink. They're terrible. That's why I like LA here. It's plus points. You're on the road. Henderson is off the couch and in the backfield, and he played okay 2 weeks ago. Last week, he just got absolutely boat raced by Dallas. I think that's the bury of the tape game. And you get back to it. You beat up on a bad team here in Green Bay. Go on the road with 3.5 points. I think they win this game outright.
All right. Just a 1 week sample looking at last week. All the disgusting, quote unquote, disgusting picks lost. Pats plus 9.5 at Miami. I don't know what was grosser, Atlanta minus 2.5 at Tennessee or Tennessee plus 2.5 at home. I don't even know what was grosser there. It seems like all the growth. I mean, I guess. Wait, Kansas City. I think we got this wrong. I think I was 9-7 last week. All right, we'll get to the bottom of that. We'll do some audits. All right, 4 o'clock window. 4:05 standalone 4:05 game. Greg.
Hate it.
Indy Minshew Mania at Carolina. Bryce Young. No more winless teams. I like that. Basically a pick 'em plus 2.5. Carolina at home. What do you got here?
I like Carolina. I think they got stuff moving in the right direction. It was ugly last week. You know who plays ugly games every single week? Indianapolis. I like the points at home. It's one of the few home dogs, maybe the only home dog. No, one of the few home dogs this week. Yeah, give me in Carolina at home plus 2.5 going against Indy. I don't really know what Indy's doing. Like Jonathan Taylor had 95 yards rushing in the first half and then just didn't play in the second half. Didn't get traded at the deadline, so it wasn't like they were trying to keep him healthy for the trade deadline. Not sure what's going on in Indy sometimes. Carolina, like I said, I think is maybe moving in the right direction here. Home team getting points. Give me Carolina in the 2.5.
All right, I'm going against you here. Carolina sounds good. You got your first win. Let's take it easy now. I like you said, Greg. You honestly took the words right out of my mouth. Indy plays a lot of gross games. I like Minshew madness. I think they're gonna come up big here. Coming off a loss, right, for Indy. I think they get this back together, man. Indy with the win here on the road in Carolina. Love it. 4:05. Weird standalone game. All right. 2 425s. A lot of NFC East action going on. First one, Dallas plus 3.5 at the Philadelphia Eagles. Ordinarily, Greg, I would say this is an easy game. What's the public here?
73% of the bets, 73% of the money's on Philadelphia -3 at home.
That does not fit my narrative.
Mm.
Feels like Dallas the right pick. I'm still sticking with the Eagles. I was gonna go on a narrative here. It looked like everyone's gonna get off the Eagles because they've been looking pretty bad, and the Cowboys looked amazing last week when they were supposed to look bad. I thought it was gonna be completely flip flopped, but I'm riding with the Eagles here.
Yeah, I'm riding with Dallas just because I think it's one of the better. Like we talked about some of these matchups. Like this is a matchup that's gonna shape the playoffs and shape the seeding. And Dallas +3. It's a divisional game. It's gonna be a hard fought game. I think it's gonna be a close game. So if I'm getting 3 points, I'm happy with that. Give me Dallas +3 on the road.
All right. 425. New York Football Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. Head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, Antonio Pierce, linebacker for the New York Giants during that Super Bowl run when Coughlin's face was white red playing in Green Bay.
Yeah.
That Favre overtime pick. He was leading that defense. McConnell is their coach, right? Adrian O'Connell?
Their quarterback.
The quarterback, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love the Giants +2.5. They're my hold your nose pick of the week. They're my second best bet of the week. I absolutely love the Giants coming off that horrific loss that I witnessed with these two eyes, Greg, at JetLife Stadium last week. Their offensive line is back. Their quarterback is back. They are embarrassed from last week. They desperately need this win in order to become a real team. They obviously were not sellers at the deadline. They didn't sell nobody. They're trying to win this year. Saquon's on a contract year. He still needs to do well. They're playing for pride. Daniel Jones, everyone talking about getting replaced. Like this is almost a career game for him, even though he has a contract. On the other hand, you have a team who's never played before, never coached, never. O'Connell stinks. Like I don't care how good he's looked so far. They're obviously going in a different direction if Jimmy G's not starting. I love the New York Giants here, and I love that it's a 425 game. man, the Giants are going to be 3-6 this week. They're going to absolutely kill the Raiders. This is going to be a fun one. Give me the Giants.
I like the Raiders here. I think you got a new coach. You get a bump from that. Team starts playing good. You got to put something on tape because you're not going to be sticking around Las Vegas next year because the organization's changing over again. So I liked what I've seen from O'Connell this season so far. Like I said, I think you just get a bump when your coach gets shipped out of town. I think it's pretty clear now that Josh McDaniels just doesn't like players just don't like him. So you get that funk out of the way. Jimmy G hasn't been playing well, missing people wide open. Like the plays are working, the offense is working, the system's working. Jimmy G just can't make the throws, so he's out of here. Josh McDaniels with his terrible decision making, he's out of here. And you get a little. I don't know if it's a revenge game or a pride game for Pierce going against his old team here. I like Las Vegas at home, a game no one expects you to win. It's like when what's his name came in last year and started coaching. Jeff Saturday started coaching the Colts. They just don't expect anything from you. They think it's the easiest game of all time. It's only 2.5 points. Like, I think Las Vegas is going to be live in this one. So give me Las Vegas -1.5, -2.5, whatever you want at home.
All right. Yeah, this is where it's totally on opposites here. I'm loving the Giants after what I saw last week, man. That defense is incredible. Mika McFadden's a beast. Their D-line's unbelievable. Dexter Lawrence breaking records. Leo Williams, honestly, addition by subtraction. Man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I love the Giants for the next couple of weeks. At least the next 3 out of 4 weeks. I like the Giants. Just not that's not versus the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, Greg. Everybody's going to be talking about it. I should have wore my DeMar Hamlin shirt. Buffalo Bills back at the scene of the crime in Cincinnati, trying to finish the game this time. It's going to be emotional.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar Hamlin has to be dressed, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I love the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. I absolutely love the Bengals. What do you think?
I'm with you. It's my third and final best bet of the week. Cincinnati at home -2. I don't think Buffalo is very good. I think Cincinnati came off a bye last week and looked really good. They're getting healthy. They're figuring it out. I think a big thing for them was just getting all their receivers back. I think T. Higgins was out for a little while, and he came back last week. I think it just gives Joe Burrow another option down the field that he hasn't had in the beginning part of the season. So, yeah, give me Cincinnati -2 at home for my third and final best bet.
Oh, best bet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I wasn't feeling that good, but now, especially because you're a big Bills guy. All right.
Yeah.
Big Josh Allen guy. All right. I like that. That makes me feel good. Greg. We unintentionally saved the best for last, Greg.
Yeah.
It just happens to be the Monday night game. The New York Jets at home, Jet Life Stadium. I might be there because I can't resist. I'm an addict. +3 at home? Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
You think the Chargers and the Jets are even teams? You think the Chargers are better than the Jets on an even field?
I
That's what
think
this
the
line says.
Chargers have a better offense than the Jets do, and I think offense is like 70% or 60% of the NFL in today's terms. So, like, on a neutral field, like, yeah, I would say the Chargers should be favorites against us. I think they're better than us. The problem is their defense, their special teams, and their coaching, which I think we win all 3 of those matchups pretty heavily. So that's where we battle back, and that's why we win this game outright. Never mind +3.5.
So you're going with the public here?
Yeah, 82% of the money on the Jets, 67% of the bets. I'm going with the Jets for sure. +3, +3.5 at home. Give me.
Easy's better today.
Yep.
Give me the Jets. Last best bet. Jets win at home. Jets. Jets. About to be 5-3. Looking at Sunday night next week versus the Vegas Raiders, dude. Let's go. Jets deserve this little lull in their schedule. Big Monday night under the lights. Let's go.
Crazy.
All right. Give me your Hail Mary and your
Hail
teaser.
Mary. Sure, we talked about it. Some of my best bets in here. Some of them, just some other games I really like. 14 bet Atlanta Falcons -4.5 going against a young quarterback at home. Cleveland Browns -7.5 going against a young quarterback at home. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like I said, I kind of like them. I think they're live in this division. I think they're live here in this game, +3 on the road against Houston. And then New England -3.5, my second best bet of the day, throwing that in there. All 4 legs, plus 1,200 right now on FanDuel. I love them all.
All right. This is your Hail Mary, right?
That is my Hail Mary.
All right. With my Hail Mary, Greg, I'm doing something similar, but I'm really just taking teams that I honest to God just think are going to straight up win the game. So we're going to start with the Jets on Monday night. You convinced me about the Bengals. I'm going to throw the Bengals in there. The Giants are going to win straight up versus the Raiders. Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys straight up. I'm going to take the Seahawks with the 5.5. I'm not going to go crazy. Just give me the 5.5. Cleveland against the rookie quarterback. Falcons against the rookie quarterback. Saints against the rookie quarterback. Patriots at home, back against the wall. Packers at home against whatever the hell the Rams put against at their quarterback. All right? That's 10 games. You put $50 on that, you win 7,500.
Bang.
Boom. We drop put $10, you win 1,500. Done. Just drop
like
that. What's your teaser?
My teaser, I'm going unders, and I'm going under heavy. Washington, New England, under 46.5. Minnesota Vikings versus the Falcons, 43.5. Cardinals, Browns, 43.5. Bears, Saints, 47. Giants, Raiders, under 43.5. And Chargers, Jets, under 46.5. That is 6 legs, all unders. They're some of the lower unders of the day, plus 500. Short and sweet. It's really, again, these defenses at home against these young quarterbacks. I just don't think a lot of these teams are going to be scoring 20 points. So going with the unders.
All right, that's not bad actually. I'm gonna do a 6-team teaser, 6 points, so it's plus 500. The Jets +9, Giants +7.5, Seahawks +11.5, Kansas City, Miami over 44.5 in Germany, Commanders, Patriots under 46.5, Saints, Bears under 47 plus 500. Done.
Perfect. Love that.
All right. That's it for this week, Greg. Let's have another big week.
Yes.
And we'll see you week 10. You know what it is. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. period on our YouTube. Hit us up. Give us a like on this video if you're watching. We're going to split up this video. So we'll see exactly what games you guys are listening to. That'll help us out just a tiny bit more. Let us know what you got. Hit us up on Twitter, Meleka, Winning P Weekly. And that's it. We out.